That's a dire outlook. And we're not going to stay on there because we have some really great suggestions here. But before we move on, how do we define AI and its role in our growth? Because I mean, we're everybody from the board on down, everybody's looking at us and saying, what's your take on AI? What are you doing with AI? Right. And a lot of it is on how do you become more efficient, right? How do you do more with less? But your point of view is that's not always the case, right? That AI has an opportunity to do a lot more in our growth. And I'd love to just explore that for a moment.
Yeah, well, so there's two threads there. One, I think AI presents this huge opportunity for go-to-market, especially for marketers, but it also is presenting the biggest challenge that we've ever faced. So on the one hand, AI automates a lot of things, and we have a lot of people who are taking the easy path and they don't know what they're doing and they're automating bad behaviors. And this is why email spam is out of control. The robocalls are out of control. The personalization, but it's completely odd and in some ways creepy of, I know where you went to high school, like really weird use cases, but then also what it can be wrong. And so you just have this onslaught of the AI slop, as it's called, and it's coming at a crazy pace. And then you also have the easy button for content, and AI can just make all of this content, but it's the same thing and it's based on pre-published. So there's nothing new, but it's just spam, 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 spam. And so it's making it really hard to stand out. And it's also taking, everyone says outbound is dead, email is dead. But when you do it right, it can work really well. And so I think AI is creating that really big challenge of just automating. And, people call it the easy button. I call it the lazy button because some things should not be automated. Like some things should actually be eliminated and we shouldn't do it. And AI is just doing it all and it doesn't cost very much, so it's easy to just try it, spray and pray, and then move on. And so I think as a marketer, that's really challenging for us to do that. And then, it does do a lot of things. Like we can move faster, we can do things better, we can be a lot more efficient. But I do think this, the AI hype is we'll just do more with less. And it's, from a marketing perspective, we went into COVID, we did a lot more with a lot less because we had to. And then coming out of it, there was like this big boom. And then coming out of that, everyone was like, oh, budgets are overstretched. Maybe we need to scale back. I think every marketer I know reined in their budget but still had the same expectation. So we were doing more with less. And then we saw, well, maybe we're not going to hire at the pace we're going to. Let's just sort of slow that down a little bit. But you still have to, in terms of growing, you have to deliver more results. So we're still doing more with less. And then you throw in, oh, you have to compete with AI and you have to get more content out faster, but it can't be the AI slop. So it's got to be better. So we're doing, our people are doing more with less. And then you throw in, well, AI has made outbound really challenging. Like that gone are the days of cold calling. And, it used to be marketing would contribute a certain percentage of the pipeline. Outbound would probably do 25 to 40%. And, for us, we're not seeing that. And so my marketing team is picking up the extra and delivering 95 to 100% of the pipeline with the same budget, which is the same budget is to go farther. And as we start growing as a company, we want to do more things and add more events, but we don't have more money. And so it's the more with less, it's like on and on and on. And I do think we're sort of at this place where there are certainly companies, there are certainly teams, marketing teams who probably could do more with less and they could be a little bit more efficient. But I don't think that that's the answer. I think it's more of AI can help us be efficient. It can fix a lot of the gaps, but we need to spend more on AI to, you sort of have to slow down to move faster. And I think the potential for AI is really around not doing more, like not just sort of the lazy button, but it's being smarter and being more intelligent and understanding like, what is happening? What is driving the biggest impact? How can I do more of that? And eventually at some point, being able to take the foundations of a go-to-market strategy that worked really well, that's based on trust, based on a relationship, based on authenticity, but scales that at, that one-to-one relationship at 1 to 10,000 at scale. And I'm not saying, the bots are going to talk to the bots. I don't believe that. But I do think AI can help us get to a place where one person can talk to many in a personalized, authentic way very quickly. But that's not an efficiency story at all. That's more of like an optimization story in my mind. And it requires investment to scale and get there.